Khaimera has been one interesting hero since Monolith has came out. Not necessarily all that viable, but now since cards have really been working in his favor and as some little bit of a rework, he's quite viable, and you're seeing him much more. Now, here in this deck here, we're taking a look at a tanky Khaimera deck so that he can get some good damage in the early game, but then transition into a monster frontline presence. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Hero Build and Guide. I am Sylphin. So we're taking a look at Khaimera right here as a deck that I call the Jungle Bear. The Centurion, because you are a tank and you need that health. You start off with your dummy ward here, go into your scythe, you go into a ward that you absolutely need soon after that. You have an option to go into your Thunder Cleaver right away in order to really help with your wave clear. Then you can also go for an Armivore that we'll talk about later as well. You have two Venom Shells that you can go into for some basic armor and some damage. You also have a Thorn Greenweave for that ability armor with a Blink Charm as an option in there as well. Then you have your late game deck. This is the late game deck. Spiked Boneplate. You have your Hunter's Guile. You have a Power Cord or a Stasis Gem. Power Cord or a Stasis Gem. You have a Madspore Sash, a Thermobond, and your original Guardian's Ward. The first step is to place down your dummy ward in the enemy jungle. Make sure that it's far enough to see the enemy green camp. Now, you start your rotation on the right white camp, moving counterclockwise around. I make a huge mistake and press the wrong button because you don't want to get Khaimera's Q ability. You want his E ability called Spirit Regeneration. Basically, when you basic attack, you gain health regen stacks for 2.2 seconds. You gain 1 stack per hit, all the way up to 3.25 stack health regen per hit for 2.2. The maximum stacks you can have is 25. 25 stacks of health regen. That is a lot. Now you can see here that I'm so close to dying because I'm trying to kite as much as possible, and finally we get level 2 here and I unlock the passive. If you have his passive, this is super easy, as you just kind of really focus on dragging the minions around each other. You want to kite them in a way so that they are kind of forced to kind of always be kind of trying to circle each other. It's really weird. You have to make sure you're kind of going in and out circular motion. Once you finish the green buff, do the back camp, do the right camp. You have to clear your whole jungle before the 3-minute mark and get here for this river buff. I get this river buff here, as I meant for the Fae to go to the other one so I could help her. No gank potential here at the 3-minute mark, as the Kwang and Fae were, more Gesh rather, were right there, and I was like, I'm low health, I can't do anything anyways. This Feng Mao this Kwang does a great job here in seeing that I was low. Again, huge mistake from not taking my spirit regeneration first, and this is kind of the beginning of the end for us here. That should make you think. Now, the second ability that you get is very important for Khaimera. It's called Unleash. When you use it, you have 5 seconds to have 5 attacks be maximum attack speed. So that's 2.5 times a second you are swinging your axes. So it gets you 5 attacks within 5 seconds of maximum attack speed. That really helps gain those stacks and do some good burst damage. So obviously very high potential there to do some pretty good damage if you put a lot of power on Khaimera, as that power really helps obviously because you gain max attack speed. The damage dealt though of those 5 basic attacks is only 60% all the way up to 82.5%, depending on what upgrades you have. Upgrading it does increase that damage quite a bit, so that is a consideration. And the last ability that I get in this game, or it can be your second ability if the enemy mid laner or the people that you're going to gank don't have a good escape, is ambush. Every 5 seconds, Khaimera can leap to a targeted enemy, slow them by 550 max movement speed for 1 second. It also deals 55 to 100 damage with power scan 0.25. It really doesn't do all that much damage, but you gain health regeneration stacks when you land on your target. You gain 4 health regen stacks when you use it. So it is a consideration for you to always be using it as much as you can to gain those health regen stacks and stay tanky. Now that I have the green buff here, I'm looking for a gank. I go right for the phase because I really want to take her out instead. I'm saving my ambush, which maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't have there. I wanted to save it for with the phase, use that blind or the pull or stuff like that. I should have used it there. I'm being a little too cautious. But make sure to gank as Khaimera on extended enemies, and use that green buff to A, clear your jungle camp as it's very effective, but B, also gank and use that explosive damage. Now, because Khaimera has his health regen stacks, we can go for the Guardian's side. Gives us 15 bonus damage against jungle minions. Works very well. A jungle drink is also very fantastic as it gives you 6 power against jungle minions and health regen. So it really helps you with the wave clear, makes it able for you to clear super fast and super easy. I choose to upgrade his spirit regeneration stacks as my team really needs frontline. I'm the only frontline besides Kalari, so I need that tankiness and to stay healthy. Now I get rid of the jungle drink and the Guardian side because I have something else that's going to help my jungle clear tremendously. Thunder Cleaver. Melee basic attacks gain 50% additional cleave on all nearby targets, making these jungle camps really, really easy to burn through. As you can see here, my Q, 1 Q almost kills the entire camp already with our ward here that we fully upgraded with damage. Damage in the early game works really well for Khaimera as his ultimate provides him with some pretty crazy bursts. It's called Call. What happens is, after a brief time, Khaimera stuns and deals damage to a targeted enemy hero. Nearby enemies are displaced and receive a movement speed slow. Khaimera is also granted 7 stacks of spirit regeneration upon activation. So you stun them for 1.5 seconds, you slow them for 3, for 60% of their max movement speed. The damage is 250 to 450, and the power scaling is 0.8. So it's tremendous amount of damage. A little power goes a long way on his ultimate. The cooldown's 90 to 50 seconds. You can use it a lot. It's just at those spirit regeneration stacks really helps with getting up his tankiness, and because I've upgraded it, it's really gonna work well. So when I can jump in on somebody, do some good bursts, and try to help stay in the front line, I'm gonna have a lot of very valuable regen stacks that should work well. So I'm using these jungle camps here to try to be as effective as possible. Going over to this phase here, trying to do my thing on her. I look for the leap here and just keep swinging. That is Khaimera. Just keep swinging. If there's a minion nearby, just keep swinging. If there's an enemy target nearby, just keep swinging. That is a very common mistake I see a lot of Khaimera players do. You have to commit. You either have to commit hard, or you have to disengage hard. You saw I was just keep on swinging. If there was a minion nearby, I hit it. There's a Kwang nearby, I hit it. I had no mana for another ambush on that phase. I missed a couple basic attacks, and I think I could have gotten her down. Commit. As Khaimera, you're all or nothing. And since I have a phase, I'm going to rely on her to be that, nope, that's enough, Khaimera, to pull me out and save my butt. Now, the thinking of this deck is all about his health regeneration. Khaimera has a unique opportunity in that he can get health back through his health regeneration. So if I can reduce incoming damage, so to the point where my health regeneration can just cancel out incoming damage that's reduced by armor, I'm basically indestructible. So that is why here in the early game we're going for power to kind of emphasize our assassin nature, since the enemy carries aren't doing much damage, even casters not really that much damage. We're going to go for the Venom Shell for some damage. Here you can see I want to focus down this Morigesh just because the enemy Greystone there's no real point to go for her just yet. Just yet. We absolutely obliterate her, making sure to always try to attack. Keep attacking somebody. Always using your ambush to keep those health regeneration stacks up. So that is why we're going for some damage and some basic armor. Abilities, they really rely on power to kind of come online, so those basic attacks are going to be what hurts just from these fighters like Greystone, and basic attacks from all heroes. I'm going to be doing that and just trying to be a sustained presence, upgrading our spirit regeneration, as you can see, a ton. I make a little miscalculation. I thought I could bruise with that Greystone, and I get out with a sliver of my health. Whew. Little miscalculation there. Now, in order to be even more relevant across the map, I have included Armivore as an option. What Armivore does on basic attack hit, you gain 6 mana. Now, your Q, you spend mana, you spend 60 to 75 mana to gain the next 5 hits, to be very, very quick. Now, Armivore, 6 mana per hit, that's 30 mana you'll be able to get very quickly. Again, here in this team fight, you have to focus phase. And it looks like I'm the only one doing that, and unfortunately, well, I just get taken out, as the rest of our team here is not really good. Like Kalari having a real tough trouble, as Kalari does, and the rest of my team simply can't use that. Armivore is an easy 3 CP of kind of constant sustain. You can get 30 mana back after your hack, and then the next basic attacks that you use to clean up those minion camps or just any lane wave, you'll basically have full mana and full health. Now, the reason why Phase is such a good combo with Khaimera is because Khaimera has no escapes. That's also why I've included a Blink Charm in this deck, and really I should have got it. Here, I'm trying to go into this Khaimera, this Kwong who's overextended, but the enemy team rallies behind him, and I get taken out. Unfortunately, you know, Khaimera has no escape, so you have to be careful with his positioning. So this game's been going pretty bad, so I need that Blink Charm. Here is the burst potential of Khaimera coming into town, taking out high damage targets. After you do something like that, then you transition into frontline sustain. After you apply that burst on a high damage target, hopefully in the backline, somebody like FaZe or the enemy carry, then you transition very quickly into sustained frontline. Your leap into your ultimate gives you stacks of health regen. Then you pop your Q to give you those 5 basic attacks very quickly. That will give, again, a good burst on your high priority target, but also, more importantly, those health regen stacks. At that point, you'll have your ambush up again, so you can reposition on another target or on the same target, take them down, and get those stacks. You're just sustained, continuous attacking for Khaimera in order for that frontline to be there. Now, this is a crazy long engagement that starts with a good pick here on this Morigesh. She gets absolutely obliterated from the friendly team, and we have some interesting cards. We have a Madspore Sash, which gives us a Radiate Aura damage, and a Stasis Gem. Stasis Gem, you might be like, yeah, but that makes it so that, yeah, you have 2.5 seconds of invulnerability, but then you lose your stacks. Well, the potential to not die to some crazy combo is actually quite valuable. Now here you can see I am going to town on absolutely anybody that's around me. I tried to focus that phase, but unfortunately my phase pulled me away, and I was like, okay. I just had to keep on attacking whoever the heck was nearby. Whoever is nearby, obviously still trying to focus down high priority targets, you just keep on attacking. Keep on attacking. Keep on a stasis gem because I was feeling like I was gonna die to make that the good double kill there on the from our yin to make that happen. Unfortunately, the Revenant was left alone. Probably my bad. In there, I could have done something where my ambush was up and I could have found that Revenant. Absolutely something that I should have done. But the general lesson there, keep on swinging. Now, from that last engagement, I learned my place. I just need to be a frontline presence. So we've gotten rid of all of pretty much our early game cards. And as you can see, I'm coming in hard on this Revenant. And I'm like, just keep swinging, just keep swinging, just keep swinging, swinging. And I'm like, okay, now my ambush is up. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep it up. 141 health regen from probably our friendly phase, but also our stacks. You can see there, we just continued the pressure. And that's what Khaimera is great for. Now, what does the Matspore Sash do? It's kind of a Thunder Cleaver that radiate damage. Once you're at a high enough hero level, you can switch out the Thunder Cleaver for the Matspore Sash. That makes it easier to clear out camps. And it can be a good source of this guard. You can see we got lots of guard because I want to mitigate that sustained damage that I take, so my health regen stacks can basically just mitigate all damage that incomes. Again, the stasis gem to use at critical moments so that you don't get completely destroyed, obliterated. We have a spiked bone plate we're going in for. Again, more basic armor and some power that we need. The power cord I've gone because I need Blight against this enemy team, against the phase. This is going to work great for me because I'm going to try to focus her and other high priority targets. Her and the Revenant will be linked, so hopefully, so that I can just kind of do my thing. If I go on the phase, well, as soon as I hit her with first basic attack, she will have Blight and mitigate good portion of her health regen. Now, you're going to go for the power cord or stasis gem. I've decided to keep the stasis gem for now. I will replace later on when I'm more tanky. Again, you can see going to town on this Revenant. And I used my stasis gem in mid-air. Look at that. Because I knew that if I could mitigate that, then my yin there that you can see really committing, that's why. That stasis gem allows the attention that I am getting to have great value. I can mitigate all of their damage, and then they're not attacking anybody else. I'm not dying, but my yin is going to town. Stasis gem has a good, nice nuance with it that a lot of people don't realize. So again, look at this frontline presence, just swinging. Keep on swinging for this crazy health regen. Keep on swinging, keep on swinging. We also have a Thermobond. Because Khaimera is so susceptible to crowd control, getting crowd controlled, and then he loses all his stacks, and then he's bursted down because he can have good burst and sustain, has to be taken care of immediately. That counters that. Because we have so much armor from the Spiked Bone Plate, the Matspore Sash, and we're going to get some here on the Thermobond, that this health regeneration is going to only help us if we get stunned. So I think it's a really good combo of cards here that really helps make Khaimera a sustained frontline utility presence. So we are an insane frontline presence. I'm trying to take my gold buff because I know the enemy's going to take it. I get taken out. Stasis gem to mitigate all of that crazy damage from that Revenant happening there. And a great phase play to pull me out of there. I heal up a bit. And then I go back in to be an unstoppable saxophone play Khaimera man. We come in here. I'm like, where is that phase? Oh, where's that phase? I'm like, oh, I'm blinded. I'll just leap onto somebody. I need to ult for the stacks. I need to just keep on attacking. Look at my health regen. Look at my health regen. Just going to town. I'm keep on going. Yup. Yup. Sustained Khaimera frontline pressure. And this phase ults me so that I get my mana regen. And look at this. Look at this. We go up front. I use my leap. 2-second cooldown on my leap. We're just tickling this Greystone at this moment because this spiked bone plate is where we get a fairly good amount of damage, you know, just depending on how you're doing. There's a fair amount of damage coming on the spiked bone plate with the rest of the CP here. So we would have taken this Greystone down a bit more, but look at that sustained frontline presence. That's what I'm talking about. So the last little bit of upgrades there that you didn't see, we got all of the Thermobond. I did tweak it from that video, just because I noticed I wasn't quite feeling like I had enough guard, and the barrier seemed fine. So a little bit more guard here, but a little bit of power on the stasis gem, a little bit of power, and then here is that power here on the spiked bone plate, along with your Guardian's Ward. So you do okay amount of damage. Like, you're really just kind of trying to burst down that high priority target, and then you just transition into a tank, basically, into a sustained frontline tank. So there you go, guys. That is the deck. As you can see, tremendous, absolute fun. You have Hunter's Guile in there for an option as well if there's an Aurora, especially for her ultimate. There was a phase in here, but I didn't feel like the blind is all that bad on Khaimera, just because you have two lock-on abilities. You have your lock-on leap and your lock-on ult, so not really that big of a deal. Against an Aurora, maybe a phase, I would definitely take that. So let me know down in the comments, guys, what you think about this deck, as it was an absolute joy to play in game. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this deck, and let me know how you play your Khaimera as well. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, guys, and of course subscribe. If you guys like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Until next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.